We're back and ready for action here for the weekend preview for Los Alamitos Racecourse. And Chris, it is going to be a fantastic weekend because it is California Breeders' Champions weekend. This week at Los Alamitos, we're celebrating the best of California breeding program here, the Calbreds. We got the Governor's Cup here on Saturday, and then on Sunday we got the Governor's Cup Derby alongside trials for the Los Alamitos claiming Futurity, which was a great success last season.
Yeah, it certainly was. It's a great program, and it's going to be a great weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos.
Yeah, I can't wait. Looking forward to both cards. Just glancing over Saturday as we're getting ready to send all these comments and selections for the Nightlines. This is a competitive late pick four. I'm really looking forward to the late pick four on Saturday. We'll see if we can kind of maneuver our way through a few selections. But let's talk about your selection. It's part of the early pick four sequence, and that's coming up in race number 3.
Yeah, race number 3. It's a field of 6, and this was the 5-horse, the Streak and Dream. Was a well-meant runner. This horse was a B workout pattern for Jose Flores in the debut and had trouble first time over the Los Alamitos Oval on the shipping. He had broke slow, he skied, lost a length of 3/4, but finished pretty well under a hold. In his next start, he went for Paul Jones and broke a little slow, brushed the side of the gate and lost about 3/4 of a length, but showed some big speed and looked like he's going to go on his way to victory, but came up just a little bit short right into the wire versus the heavy favorite, but still earned a pretty solid figure with everything factored in and drawn between two notorious slow and stride horses. So this horse could break and have a clear path to the wire at a nice price.
Let's take a look at that replay. You're talking about July 2nd here, race number 7. She had the outside post, and I mean, if you had a win bet on this runner, that was a tough beat because she ran very, very well, Chris.
Yeah, she sure did. She broke a little slow and brushed the side of the gate a little bit. Lost some ground away from there, but showed a nice turn of foot. Came out and drifted out away from the gate. Lost about 3/4. But still showed some decent speed. Is a nice sized individual. Was under a hand shove throughout and finished well. Looks like this horse is going to be on the way to victory, but kind of drifted out a little bit more right into the wire and came up just a little bit short. And galloped out pretty well, but with everything factored in, the horse figures nicely off that event. And as noted, drawn between two horses that have tendency to break a little bit slow, so the horse could improve and break a little bit better here tonight and have a big look at the outcome at a nice little price there for us as our price play on Saturday night.
The final eighth of that race was a pretty solid 9.76, so they came home pretty well for the level, and like you mentioned, did everything right except getting the bob there at the end, the Streak and Dream. And you mentioned, you know, you had given this horse a pretty nice workout report, right, back on April 9th. Yeah, this horse was back on April 9th, so I gave this horse a straight B workout, and the horse did show some ability in the debut. Did run 6B or 5th beat 2 lengths, but had trouble along the way, and everything factored in a decent figure. So we thought the horse had a look second time out over the oval and earned a pretty good figure, everything factored in. That compares nicely in the third event this Saturday night, and I think the horse has a look at the outcome. That's the Streak and Dream Chris's selection for Saturday night, part of the early pick 4 sequence there on the first night of California Breeders' Champions weekend. There's plenty of hot action in the simulcast world as well. You'll have selections for a few of those races, a few of those racetracks in the Nightlines. Any highlights that you can mention? What tracks are we covering for the Nightlines? Yeah, we're taking races 5 through 8 at Delta Downs. And then we're taking Rotama Park. We're taking races, I think, 6 through 11, I think it is. And then, of course, the last 4 to Albuquerque. Albuquerque just opens their meet this week. And so lots of simulcasts being piped in, and got some good-looking runners going postman. Great weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos this upcoming weekend. All right, thank you for that. You can catch all of Chris's selection there in the Nightlines. And we got to get to work because we got 10 races on Saturday, on Sunday, good fields, and, of course, a good Saturday night program. So I'll see you this weekend here at California Breeders' Champions weekend, Chris. All right, boss. You have a good night.
The best in quarter horse racing continues at Los Alamitos Racecourse with California Breeders' Champions Weekend, July 30th and 31st. Juveniles face off in the Governor's Cup Futurity on July 30th, led by fastest qualifier Frivolous. On July 31st, She Goes Up will look to sweep the Governor's Cup Series with a win in the Derby, plus the Spencer Childers Championship and the Matron Stakes for mares. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos, California Breeders' Champions Weekend.
Burns Ranch Stallions are strong in major stakes. Favorite Cartel sired 7 Grade 1 qualifiers in a single weekend.
DKAA will go 2 for 2, defeating A Political Jet.
Walk Through Fire also sired an Ed Burke finalist. He and Separate Interest each qualified 2 for the Los Alamitos Oaks. Burns Ranch also stands Fly Through the Fire, Mental Error, Foose, and MP Shining. Let Burns Ranch help you plan your racing future.
Welcome back to the preview show here. Now joined by Michael Runner, the voice of Los Alamitos. Michael, good to hear your voice. And get ready because we got stacked fields, good field sizes, good races, both Saturday and Sunday. The entries are out for Sunday. It is California Breeders' Champions Weekend here at Los Al.
Exactly, Jose. We have an all-stakes late pick 4 Saturday night and Sunday night. Plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, and I peeked at the entries. They just came out. We also have trials for the Los Alamitos claiming Futurity, which is a nice addition. It was a nice addition last year where, you know, these horses are not entered to be claimed in the trials, but if you make it to the final, will be up for a claiming tag. And last year, I remember Felix Gonzalez took his horse out of the final. He did not want to lose that horse in the final. And that's for a little bit of intrigue there, those claiming Futurity series.
For sure. Yes, there are trials to the claiming Futurity preceding that all-stakes late pick 4 on Sunday's card. So great depth and intrigue across the weekend.
All right, so you got for us a selection and the start of the late pick 4 on Saturday night. Race number 6 is the California Breeders' Freshman Filly Stakes. 350 yards for these 2-year-old fillies. Overall, when you get these kind of stakes runners, you do get horses that are in very good form, horses that are kind of been in the mix of things. But you like the way Secret Success won last time out, right?
Yes, I feel like this horse is somewhat underrated. Has 2 wins in a row at 5-1 and 8-1. Keeps surprising, keeps rising to the next challenge. Both of the wins, by the way, have come out of gate number 1, and they've been full of merit. I thought the gallop out was very good after this June 19 race that we have to show you. And it pretty much indicated to me that 350 yards for this assignment Saturday night should be within her scope.
She was on the rail, like you mentioned, the last 2 wins have been from the rail. And just visually, this was an impressive win because the runner-up, Elise Matisse, was a well-regarded Paul Jones runner.
Yes, exactly. And Secret Success did pretty much everything right and has handled the rail draw expertly. That's a very handy, convincing winning margin. And this was the first time that the filly was ridden by Armando Cervantes, who is sticking with her in this race. That's a nice gallop out. Nothing's getting anywhere near Secret Success around that clubhouse turn. So I think she'll be okay stepping up in distance. And she's shorter odds than the last 2 wins, but 5-2, not bad value. She's the second choice on Ed Burgart's morning line. Now, this is a stakes race, so she's obviously knocking heads with some stronger opposition than in that allowance score last time out. Navaja, number 4, being the 8-5 morning line favourite, has qualified to both the Kindergarten and Ed Burke Million Futurities and was not disgraced with a midfield finish in the Ed Burke last time out. So Navaja, obviously, very tough to beat. Reminder is an interesting horse, even though still a maiden. This is a Monte Rosa trainee. You would normally expect Cervantes to be riding. I find it interesting that an out-of-state jockey's coming in for this mount only, has no other mount Sunday night either. But last time out, Reminder was just 1 length behind Frivolous and a half length behind Party Politics. That's pretty good form for a maiden, don't you think?
Yeah, Party Politics, your eventual winner of the Edinburgh Million. And just family lines, you can see she took money first time out going favored because not only that 12-20 work that she had shown, but she's from that golden mare, Remery Rose, who has produced like Powerful Favorite, Bomb Cyclone, our 2 million winner of last year, and so on and so forth. Do you find it interesting that Armando Cervantes, the go-to rider, ends up on the 8 and not the 5?
I find it intriguing. I find it puzzling. It might be an owner request, but I'm going to follow Cervantes onto Secret Success. I think it's a pretty positive sign without knowing the backstory to him not riding Reminder. But I take it as a pointer, a strong positive pointer for Secret Success to continue climbing the class ladder, and she might be able to take this next step. Reminder has a very hefty price tag by virtue of that outstanding breeding that you were mentioning. And Corona Rose number 2 is another chance in the race, actually has defeated Secret Success. So it's a good quality race, but Secret Success is heading in the right direction. Cervantes sticks, you go to the outside post position, and this could be a genuine improver, an underrated type.
I like that. Secret Success outside post could be beneficial as well. Switching to the outside. That's a nice way to kick off the late pick 4 there on Saturday night's pick 4. By the way, thank you for I know you liked the analysis of my selection last week. Thank you for that. I know you sent me a message, so that horse was able to deliver it. And I hopefully the horse players were able to go to my thought process of, even though we had a very high profile first time starter, once you don't make it into the big Futurities early in the year, it's kind of telling us that some of these high price purchases might have had some setbacks to get to the races. So that was my suspicion for that race last week, and we're able to catch that winner that we went through the workout review again. Yeah,
my pick on the preview show last week was scratched, unfortunately. Yeah. And I'm struggling to remember the name of yours, but whatever it is, I liked the horse. Everything you said about it made sense to me in the preview show. So that was your lock of the night, and whoever it was did the job.
Yeah, did the job, got the job done. My name is, we're looking at so many names day in, day out that my mind is fried by the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a race caller's short-term memory.
Yes, it is.
I know the 4-horse was a Heath Taylor trainee that went off favourite, but hadn't had a local work making her California debut or his California debut. And that horse was slowly away and never a factor. And yours was the 3, I think. But that's the extent of my recollection.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look it up here. I got the night lines handy now, so it won't take me long. And
I'd offer to sing a little song while you're doing that, but singing is not my forte.
No. Well, in the meantime, why don't we talk about Scoop's Dynasty looking very well in that trial win and extended his 4-for-4 streak in 2022. He looked sharp.
He did. He looked very sharp. He just seems to have fashioned into a very reliable professional racehorse. He has been getting out of the gate in good order. Now, he did have plenty of room to move in the opening 100 yards, but still, he got out of the gate very efficiently anyway. I don't think it would have mattered if the seas had not parted, so to speak, and he'll deserve his role as favourite, no doubt, come the final. And Frivolous is the morning line favourite from one of the outside draws in Saturday night's feature. Sure. I was just so impressed with her improved professionalism, winning the trial from the rail. She had previously been quite cantankerous, somewhat fractious in the gate. She's had trouble getting out of the gate. But that performance as the fastest trial winner to this final, the Governor's Cup Futurity Saturday night, was ultra impressive in every possible respect. And so I find it difficult to pick against Frivolous in the final.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun final, by the way. I found the night lines. It was Apolitical Fire was the 3-horse. You were right.
Yes.
Heath Taylor was the 4-horse, and First Nava Cartel, the experienced runner, was a 2. But Apolitical Fire was the pick last week. We went through the videotape, and hopefully plenty of players back. We actually got, second choice, I believe, at post time, if I remember correctly, in that race. Okay, Mikey, thanks so much for that selection. Best of luck, and hope Secret Success has success from the outside post.
Okay, looking at the odds, not so much of a secret as when she was 5-1 and 8-1, but let's hope that she can continue on her winning way.
Have a good night.
Okay, hooroo.
The best in quarter horse racing continues at Los Alamitos Racecourse with California Breeders' Champions Weekend, July 30th and 31st. Juveniles face off in the Governor's Cup Futurity on July 30th, led by fastest qualifier Frivolous. On July 31st, She Goes Up will look to sweep the Governor's Cup Series with a win in the Derby, plus the Spencer Childers Championship and the Matron Stakes for mares. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos, California Breeders' Champions Weekend. Racing fans, the traditional $2 Pick Six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. On March 27th, our total Pick Six pool was a meets best $320,000. The total Pick Six pool on May 7th was over $197,000, and on May 22nd, the total pool was over $79,000. Remember, on Sunday nights when there's not a carryover, Los Alamitos adds $10,000 to the Pick Six pool. Talk about some good old-fashioned Pick Six excitement. The traditional $2 Pick Six, a great bet, a great deal. It's always at Los Alamitos.
Welcome back to the program. Now joined by Professor G. Professor, good to see you. We're back in action here for the big weekend of racing now. It's a weekend, California Breeders' Champions weekend. But before we get into these some of these races, first of all, let us know, how was Winter Nationals?
Crazy as always.
Yes.
Controversial as always.
Yes.
With a big finish, the closest finish we've ever had in the
ever.
Yeah, ever. I mean, I had to go to the VR virtual replay several times, and it was still crazy because one of the dogs that actually got first to the line didn't quite cross it, and the rules say you gotta cross the line. Instead, he turned around a little bit, then came back around and got crashed into two other dogs. That pushed him over, but by then Paisley, the actual winner, had already crossed and was already coming back to the owner. So Paisley ends up winning the 25th running of the Winter Schnitzel Winter Nationals. And after all that brouhaha that happened with Beanie Von Weenie and Charlie Cortez from Long Beach, they end up then heating for second place. So definitely Winter Schnitzel Winter Nationals final to remember. And one that I'm happy is on the rearview mirror for a little while before we get ready for another fun time next year for the Winter Nationals.
I thought it was like more drama in the Winter Nationals than it was some of the quarter horse photo finishes that night, Professor. It was wild. It was a wild night to the Winter Nationals. But one name, kind of, now we're talking about trip notes, Professor. Make sure you add this one to your stable mail. The Diaper Dash winner. That Diaper Dash winner, watch out next year. Whoever's pointing towards next year's Winter Nationals, that's the doggy to watch.
Doggy to watch. Yeah, yes. That one actually went with us to some of the media appearances that we did, and beat older dogs in the KTLA race that we had up there at KTLA Channel 5. They always help us out so much. The station does so many great things for us, promoting the race. But yeah, Stevie defeated older runners in the diaper in the KTLA, then comes back here, wins the Diaper Dash. So definitely one to remember for next year's running. But how about Paisley? Paisley spotted the field like 2 seconds.
Senora.
Yeah, and then comes flying at the end there to cross the finish line in the Winter Schnitzel Winter Nationals. So fun night, crazy night.
It was a fun night. Thank you to all the people that came out and all the participants as well, and all the patrons on site. It was a fun night there. The Winter Nationals back at Los Alamitos. It was a fun renewal. Plenty of drama to be had. Now let's talk about this weekend, Professor. We got the California Breeders' Champions weekend. We have celebrating the best of California breeders here in the sport of quarter horse racing. Mike, we're going to talk to us about race number 6. So I figured, why don't we complete the late pick 4, talk about races 7, 8, and 9 here on Saturday night. Race number 7, the Breeders' Freshman Stakes, 350 yards for these 2-year-olds. So this is the male edition of that previous race that we talked about. And we have a field of 8 runners. And actually, the 3 favorites are towards the outside, Professor. Gates 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, absolutely. And the horse that I like, actually, Jose, is number 4, Lisbon Cristal. Really well-bred runner. But, yeah, you have some really nice horses in the 6, 7, and number 8 spot, Mr. Secret Cartel. We just saw that horse not too long ago win against a really nice group of runners. Won by a nose there here on July 17th. Space Flight has had 2 really good performances coming off of a pretty rough outing last out when coming back from 5th to run 2nd. And Why Not Up? Gotta love the breeding kitty up, and Why Not win? Really nice cross there for number 6. Why Not Up? Jesus Rios Ayala up on Why Not Up. But I do like the 4, Lisbon Cristal. Just a very solid race against maidens, but it was still a very impressive effort from this runner. Fast Price Cartel, pretty underrated sire in my opinion, and of course the champion champion runner walk through Cristal is the mare, the mother of Lisbon Cristal.
We have been waiting for her to produce that standout foal, Professor. Could this be it? Because he definitely put it all together last time out. He's kind of looking like one of those standout runners out of this dam who was sensation on the racetrack.
Absolutely, and I thought that, the horses had some pretty decent outings even prior to that win. Look who he ran third to that first out, May 8th. Party Politics, who goes on and wins the Edberg Million Futurity. Second in that race, Chester Carlson, who won a trial to the Governor's Cup Futurity. So that was a pretty solid group of runners. Then comes back and runs a pretty trouble outing there when running fifth to Henry D in a trial to the Edberg Million. So they really like this horse enough to make all those payments, not only to the Edberg Million, but look, he's paid into the Golden State Million Futurity, the Los Al 2 Million Futurity, and even the Super Derby. So, a lot of high hopes for E.G. High Desert Farms on Lisbon Cristal. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one out of the top runner walk through Cristal.
He definitely looked good in that maiden diploma. He clicked away with good strides, good final time as well for the level. One horse that I like here, my top pick is Spaceflight. I like this horse first time out. I believe I made him the long shot of the night that night, and he rallied from last going to 20, which is tough to do when you break last from the rail. But he finished nicely, got up for the win. And then next time out, I really liked him right back again, and I went back and supported him. But Moonlight Blaze was too sharp that night. And I'm thinking Spaceflight might enjoy the extra distance. And I want to show this replay here of Spaceflight in that most recent race where he ended up finishing second. Yeah, he finished second here. But there's a significant amount of trouble, I thought. He was the 4-horse here. He's going to get bounced around from both sides at the start. Right there. The big favorite was on the outside. That's Moonlight Blaze, who dominated there with a clean start. But watch Spaceflight still rally and still get up for second. Nobody was beating the winner that night, but just the way Spaceflight finished. I like the way he finished, just like he did in his debut win. The way he galloped out. He galloped out right alongside the winner. I just feel like the extra distance might be beneficial for a runner like this. And I like him right back. Spaceflight there, Scott Willoughby and Ed Allred. 3-1 on Ed Burghart's morning line.
I think what you're saying is right. I mean, you're going to get 50 extra yards that this horse will get from that last outing. And even when that horse ran first, when he won his first out, that was at 220 yards and was fifth, leaving, spotted the field a little bit of distance and came back flying. So you're going to get some extra distance here for Spaceflight. Definitely a horse to fear for me, because I'm going with the 4 Lisbon Cristal, and I like the 4-1 odds that I'm going to get on the 4 Lisbon Cristal.
I think everybody's going to get good odds in this spot. I don't think anybody's going to get bet down too heavily. So if you like a runner, you're probably going to get fair odds. Another horse to mention is Who Cares. So the Dan, remember who is filly out of Remember Rose. We all know Remember Rose, that tremendous producing mare. So the second dam, Who Cares, is that terrific producer, and he put it all together with a 15:69 clocking on July 10th. So that's a good race there. Race number 7, the second leg of that late pick 4. There's 2 races left. You know what time it is. Race number 8 is the start of the late daily double here at Los Alamitos, the Jens L. List Memorial California Breeder Stakes. These are 400 yards for the 3-year-olds. The Calbreds, Professor, we got a field of 6 runners. And I feel like Eye in the Sky was entered earlier this season, between February and now. And I believe he was scratched, right?
Yes, he was scratched. If you remember that workout that he had on May 31st, super fast work, but he kind of got a little wild going around the turn, came super close to kind of grazing that outer rail, was entered, later on in that, around June, early June, I want to say, and was scratched out of that race. So we get to see him again, and he had a turn and work since then, 18.3 back on July the 12th. Eye on the Sky going 400 yards. We think the sky's the limit for this horse for a long time.
Yes.
Gets a little bit of class relief here with this group. It's still a very good group, but he's coming out of the Los Alamitos Winter Derby, so you have to consider a little bit of a class relief overall. So we'll see how Eye on the Sky does. 9-5 favorite here in this one.
Is this the night, Professor? Because up the ladders 2-1. Even the special one looked impressive last time out, winning by a length and a quarter at 5-2. Who did you end up picking in this race?
I went ahead and stuck with Eye of the Sky, but yeah, up the ladders right there. The special one is right there, and I really like the special one. I got a chance to meet the owner, Alfredo Alonso, and I remember the race when the horse finished second by a nose. They thought that the horse had won the race. They were super disappointed that they did not get that photo finish, but almost immediately, their spirits were up because the horse ran heck of a race, a really good race. And before that, Mr. Alonso shared that they were kind of considering maybe going out of town and trying something else with the horse. But that race right there told them, and we got to stick here at Los Alamitos. This horse is good. And look what he's done since then, a pair of victories here at Los Al. So I'm very happy for the owner, Alfredo Alonso, because now he gets a chance to go in a really nice stakes race against some really nice horses. So kind of a fun thing to kind of follow the career of that special one. And of course, got a chance to meet and become a nice acquaintance of Mr. Alonso.
Yeah, and then it's just the trajectory of the improvement after each of those close wins. And now you get a couple close finishes, now a couple of back-to-back wins. Jose Nicasio has been aboard for those wins, so it kind of shows a little bit of confidence that they keep him up the ladder. Also, overall, the very good form, 3 wins out of the last 4. Including a stakes win at 350 dating back to November. His races have been spaced out, but I mean, it's not easy to kind of put this kind of a form together. It looks very sharp. We talked about Eye in the Sky there. It looks like those 3 are going to dominate the wagering here, Professor.
I think so too.
But I feel like Eye in the Sky one of these nights is going to run back to that big performance we saw earlier in his career, right?
Yeah, those 2 early on. One is maiden by over 3 lengths,
yes.
was it? Yeah. And then goes back and wins his Edberg Million trial by a length. I think I may have made him my pick in the Edberg Million Futurity, a race won by Golden Boy, who's gone on to prove that he's a super talented horse. But you're right. Maybe one of these days, Eye on the Sky shows us once again why we just love them so much early on.
The field is also rounded out by the Kids of Cowboy out of Kitty Up Cowgirl, a graded stakes winner, Look Up, who finished second to the special one. Actually was well back there at nearly 5-2, under 3-1. Ground out the 2 inside posts. On the outside is Benevolent, who ended his season winning a Futurity trial back in November. And I believe that was a trial for the 2 million. Yeah,
it was.
Looking at the date. Yeah. And then he came back off the layoff and ran a solid 3rd, maybe the outside, and maybe 2nd time off the layoff. We'll see improvement for a runner like the 6.
Yeah, a solid race. You can definitely, definitely have to stick with the horses kind of in the middle of the track, but you could see maybe a horse like Benevolent surprise the field, because look what the odds paid when this horse won his trial to the 2 million Futurity.
20-1. 20-1 on Rodrigo. Back on 2 million Futurity night. So that's a race number 8. We're going to conclude Saturday night's program with the running of the Grade 1 Governor's Cup Futurity. 350 yards. We got 9 here set to go. Frivolous, Professor, wheeled back after the Edberg Million and posted the fastest qualifying time and did it in the first trial of the evening, right? I remember that night.
Yeah, exactly. From the rail as well, from post number 1. And trainer Felix Gonzalez was pleased to see just the way that the filly performed. Just broke nicely, probably the best start that she's had in her career, and just had that nice rhythm, Felix said. Just nice rhythm that helped carry that speed all the way to the wire. We've seen that this filly can definitely fire late, has a pretty strong kick just about in all her races, ends up making ground late. And Felix just wants her to start with the leaders. That's all he wants.
Yeah.
Just have a chance to be close to the early breakers and let that rhythm, that late kick that she's got, come through at the end.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing for her, because she's never been an absolute top gate breaker, but she can finish. We've seen that in her Futurity win. We've seen her even last time out in the trial win as well. If she breaks with them, she's going to be very, very tough there. Frivolous listed at 9-5 at Eddie Burghart's Boring Line, Who are some of the top contenders you're looking at here in this group?
I like the two future version in this race. Just another very well-bred horse, Favorite Cartel out of Makeover. They paid $73,000 for this runner, and just very impressed with the way that he won his trial. Just looked to have rockets, second part of that race. Ended up winning by a length and a half. Cruz Mendez and Jose Flores. We'll see how this horse performs from that tough number 2 position. But it's got a kind of, I think, in a good position there, because the turbo, we've seen this horse kind of break out a little bit, not the fastest out of the gate. And Require First is pretty consistent, leaving the gate. Those tend to get, been bumped a little bit, but maybe from post number 1, a nice spot for Require First, and a future version can just leave the gate there. Maybe can find himself in a good early competing spot in this race.
Yeah, Turbo there out of that family of Babe on the Fly, who has been some very good producers. Required First looks sensational in that maiden diploma, just like a future version did. BF Lisa Rangers finally put it all together 2 starts ago, Professor. After I had been chasing her, I feel like the first 3 starts of her career. So she put it together. She came back with a solid third behind Frivolous and Required First. Hess Ayala keeps the mount. Interesting that Ayala also qualified to 5, right? Up for everything for Scott Willoughby. But up for everything, look at the dam. Up for it, right? She won this race, and she produced a winner of this race last year.
Yeah, she goes up. And Dr. Red Allred, he's won this race 5 previous times, looking for Governor's Cup Futurity win number 6 with Up for Everything. You're getting 10-1 on a horse that is coming off of a couple of really impressive victories.
How about I expect a big group at the races for Mornings with Maria, Professor. I expect a loud cheer there for the crew.
Can you imagine if Mornings with Maria breaks her maiden in this race?
Let's go.
Oh, man, that crowd's going to be off the hook, Jose.
Yes. We expect a good group there. It's always a fun group. We can we've heard that group because of her tie photo finishes. That second on debut and that second last time out. We've heard the crew kind of on track on the apron, big screams anticipating the photo. Mornings with Maria is one of the horses that is still a maiden, but has been very, very competitive. Attacker exits the same trial as Frivolous and Require First. He gave Henry D everything he can handle on trials night when Henry D went up at 1-9, and Attacker was right there missing by a neck. We talked about Frivolous there, but here's my selection, Professor. I like the outside switch here for Interesting Eagle. Last time out, he was able to rally and gradually wear down Mornings with Maria, and I thought he was doing it without being all out. I thought the rider at that point felt like they were going to qualify, so the horse I thought was still doing it on his own. I'm impressed what he's done in the last 2 here, and now switches to the outside post.
Yeah, and 2 outings ago, super impressive victory as well, Jose, winning by a convincing margin, and before that, facing some really nice horses, including Ain't He Tempting, who was part of the Edberg Million field. So, yeah, Interesting Eagle, definitely an interesting contender here. And one that, if you look at what his trouble line, it's not had, has been okay, has been pretty solid, doesn't get into too much trouble. It looks like maybe he goes in a little bit. Three of his races show that maybe he moved in a little bit to the inside, but that's okay because he's going to be right there with Frivolous, who's going to be coming on strong late. Maybe they hook up right there, Jose, and we get an 8-9 exacto there.
And usually when you get these partnerships of Dr. Steve Burns buys in with Jose Flores and Guadalupe Ujanda, they usually team up on runners that they want to be part of together and show some promise. So I'm interested in Interesting Eagle here at 4-1 towards the outside. So that's a look at the Governor's Cup Futurity on Saturday night. And hot off the presses, Professor G, don't stand up. Wait there. Hot off the presses. The entries for Sunday just came out.
That's right.
And we got a 10-race program on Sunday night. And not only do we have the Governor's Cup Derby to complete the evening, but there's also plenty of other stakes events, including trials for the Los Alamitos Claiming Futurity.
Yeah, the purse for the Claiming Futurity final will be around $54,000, if I remember correctly. 3 trials to the Claiming Futurity. Remember, you can't claim these horses out of the trials, but they are eligible to be claimed out of the final. And if you remember last year, there was a humongous crowd, right, by the TV set with a ton of claiming slips, trying to acquire these nice runners. So we got the trials this weekend, this Sunday night. We'll see the final in a couple of weeks. And from there, another late pick 4 all stakes sequence, kicking off with the Debutante Stakes. That's for 3-year-old fillies. The Spencer Childers, a restricted grade 1 race, $100,000 purse in the Spencer Childers, and some of the top older runners on the grounds here. The Matron Stakes, after that, a $40,000 race. There's a Spencer Childers in that field. Well, let's take a look at that field before we talk about the Matron. Other World, who won the Gents list here last year.
Yes.
Is part of this group. DF Outfus, who's been in so many big dances now, knocking heads with the top older runners. Mr. Tornado, a Vessels Maturity finalist, a stakes winner here at Los Alamitos, experienced veteran horse. Circle City, the defending winner of the Spencer Childers. And Jose, there haven't been too many horses that have defended their Spencer Childers title. A Ransom did it at the beginning of the California Breeders' Champions Night history. And Via Bono won 3 in a row of the Spencer Childers. So Circle City trying to add his name to this great group. Cattail Cove, just fresh of Independence Day Handicap Stakes win, his first stakes win after just such a great career. Cattail Cove looks to add now a grade 1 to his impressive resume. This is a restricted grade 1 Cattail Cove.
Don't let him get hot. Don't let him get hot, Professor. Because he might come back and win a grade 1 right after that stakes win.
How about Belchek, who won this race 2 years ago?
Yes. Dating back to now, 6-year-old. Yep.
Yep. Monopolis is also part of this field. Monopolis, a grade 2 stakes winner and also a performer in the Vessels Maturity, ran second to the Great Impressum in the Vessels Maturity. We know Monopolis, what he can do. Up and Atom, third in the Vessels Maturity. And there's You Can Run, a horse that won the Sprint Stakes last year. So we have 3 horses that have won on California Breeders' Champions Night. Actually, make that 4 horses that have won in California Breeders' Champions Night. And now they are part of a 9-horse field here in the Spencer Childers.
2 horses that are kind of tugging at me just going by right now are Monopolis and Up and Atom. They're just built for like that late finish, that good late kick. And they're coming off of respective good efforts in the Vessels Maturity. Just 2 runners that jump off the page. Just first look here at the Spencer Childers.
Just 2 runners?
We'll see what kind of odds Ed Burgard lays on this morning line field. Race number 9 is the grade 3 Matron Stakes, 400 yards for these fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. More Than Looks comes out of a tough beat there by a neck. She's 2 for 15 overall. She hasn't won since August of last year, but she's relatively in good form there in back-to-back starts here. Walking Alone for Mike Castleman, also 2 for 15 overall. The last win came at 330 yards back in June of last year, competed in the Gents list back in August of last season. Had some trouble in that race. There's a classy Kiss to Fire, Professor. Comes out of a dominating win in the Abigail Kuananakoa.
Yeah, and already a Charger Bar handicap winner, wins the Abigail Kuananakoa, looking to add the Matron. She's going to be pointed to the Mildred Vessels. I mean, the way that she is going, Kiss Through Fire, not too many better H mares in the nation than this one.
Yeah, she won the Matron last year.
That's right.
That's short odds. You can see it. Yep, on July 31st. Right on time. This one showed plenty of promise to begin her career. She's kind of had some sheer layouts, but she's still in there battling. Last time out, she just lost all chance at the start. She was very heavily favored because of that bullet 12 flat workout, Professor. She just needs a trip. If she gets out cleanly, she's in the conversation.
And Jose, this mare won the Debutante here last year, the 3-year-old race on California Breeders' Champions Night. So another one that's trying to add another stakes win during this great program.
Up for you out of that mare, out for it. You can see finished 5th behind Kiss to Fire, had won an allowance before that. She was a finalist to the Los Alamitos Oaks there. Armando Cervantes has the mount for Scott Willoughby. La Estrella Corona, She's the one that kind of has always teased with big efforts at times, and she ran very well, missing by a head in the trials for the vessel's maturity. She gets the services of Irving Lara, looks on fleek, one of the most likely race runners throughout this card. Professor was an impressive debut winner in 2020. I mean, yeah, in 2020, and then came back in 2022.
2022 and came back with a nice effort, running third to In My Heart in the checker twice. So from a maiden to a stakes race against some really nice runners, looks on fleek, should be very fleet-footed here on Matron Stakes.
You should get good odds. You should get good odds there, given the quality of the field. The race number 10 is the running of the Grade 2 Governor's Cup Derby. 400 yards for these 3-year-olds, $175,000 is the purse. Professor, when I sent you that video when I was in Cabo San Lucas, I made that video. It was the week of the Los Alamitos, and I made She Goes Up by picking that video. She didn't have the trip at all. Had into a horrible trip, but she came back in dominating fashion in La Pacifica, and she delivered another strong performance on July 10th. She's peaking right now. She looks good.
Absolutely, and she's also trying to make a little bit of history, trying to be the first filly since the great Corona Cash to sweep the Governor's Cup, Futurity, and Derby. So we're talking about Corona Cash, I believe, did it in 97, 98. No filly has been able to do that double since then. She Goes Up. It's going to try to do it this weekend.
She Goes Up there. Won the Futurity, trying to sweep it and go for the Derby. Sweet Dash of Fire from that family of Dash of Frida, who has been a terrific producer for good quarter horses. She Goes Up. A second She Goes Up in the last 2 starts. Jesus Rios Ayala has the mount on this one, and she's the last time she won was going 400 yards, but that was back in November of last season. But so overall, she's been a very solid contender. You get the services of a top rider. Lady Cartel, Santos Perez trainee, finished third behind those 2 runners along the inside of the last 2 starts. A maiden here facing a tough group. Insider ran last side at 34-1. Professor, this one spiced up the exacta last time out.
Absolutely, one of probably the biggest exactas that we've had this season here with Insider, and just mentioning Lady Cartel, owned by E.G. High Desert Farms. E.G. High Desert Farms usually does very well on California Breeders' Champions Weekend. So Lady Cartel, Irving Lara, Santos Perez could be the one of those runners that could spoil the apple cart, like they say here as well. Bizarrely, another one of the runners here, probably a little bit of an outsider. There was a couple of them in that Favorite Honey trial. Insider, Knockout Cartel, Bizarrely, doing it at big odds. There's Knockout Cartel, El Primero del Año Derby finalists as well. And the outside horses, there's some really nice names there. Favorite Habit, Favorite Honey, who won the PCQ HRA Breeders' Futurity last year. Has been in a lot of nice races. Watch Out, who ran second to She Goes Up in the Governor's Cup Futurity last year. And there's Nevada Charles completing the field. So solid Derby. She Goes Up, the one to watch. Some solid males that she'll have to face against. So good race.
I like this race. I really like she's won from the inside before, and actually she won the Futurity from the rail before. Yeah, how about that, Professor? Has anybody that has done it? Have they done it from the rail? Have they done it for the same post at that? Maybe that's something we need to look into.
So not only is she looking to become the first filly since Corona Cash to sweep the Governor's Cup Series, I'm gonna guess that she might be the only one to looking to sweep the Governor's Cup from the rail both times.
Yeah, it's interesting. She has, she won the Governor's Cup Futurity at 28-1 last year from the rail.
Not getting that price.
No, and the other name escapes me, but she had a full sibling. Actually, I'm not sure if it was his full sibling, but it was another full out of Up For It, was one of the favorites that in that Governor's Cup Futurity. I believe it was trained by Valentin Zamudio, maybe. But she was the other higher price of the 2 Up For It foals, and she crushed that field, 28-1. Jonathan Roman has been doing a very good job with her. You can see her form. So it's going to be a fun renewal of the Governor's Cup Derby. We'll see if we add something to the history books here with She Goes Up. All right.
Hey, you posted some news as well earlier.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Professor?
That was congratulations. Congratulations, sir.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, but yes, family is growing.
Yes.
We're expecting a little baby boy. All checkups with mom and baby are doing well right now.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. Wife is doing well. A little bit over the morning sickness now. We're over that hump.
Yeah.
Feeling well, eating well, and we're looking forward to it. Being the race tracker that I am, Professor, I was looking ahead because, we got a December-ish.
I've already counted as well, my friend.
Professor, I'm pretty sure when I told you that it was December, guess what?
Yeah,
it might be the weekend of Champion of Champions and 2 million, Professor. This can't happen.
Good planning.
But thank you for that. But hopefully in December we'll be bringing a new baby out to the racetrack and join the races there.
Looking forward to that,
soon.
Sure.
Yep. Professor, thank you so much. Great cards. Both nights here on the California Breeders' Weekend Champion at Los Alamitos. Our post times, our post times with Del Mar running up to this point?
It's going to be 7:35 for Saturday. I'm going to say probably 7:20 or so on Sunday for these races. But, we'll get them flying, Jose. Yes. We'll get them flying. We'll probably have around 25 minutes, 24 minutes between races. So that means action-packed, and we do mean action-packed program on Sunday. So join us this great weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. A total of 8 stakes races as part of the California Breeders' Champions Weekend, and of course trials to the Los Alamitos claiming Futurity. So it's going to be a great way to close out the month of July, Jose, and it's just good to be involved with the sport.
All right, Professor. Let's say when we get to the finals of the claiming Futurity, you think it would be a do-over of last season when one connection pulls out? They don't want to lose their horse. Do you think that might happen again?
Interesting.
Because it happened last season with Felix Gonzalez, which had the fastest qualifier, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, but he also had the horse enter to the PCQHRA
that is true.
Breeders' Futurity. So we have to see what kind of schedule that those horses have. If one of them, especially if it's one of the top qualifiers, and they're looking ahead at the Breeders' Futurity, which is not too far later down the road, about a month later. So that always, will play a big role. But one thing I can assure you, there's going to be a big crowd hanging around the claim box there on the night of the Los Alamitos claiming Futurity. Yeah,
there was a lot of shakes last season. It was a fun addition to the racing calendar. Good to see it back in action here this weekend on Sunday. So all stakes pick fours on both Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday, the addition of those trials there as part of the pick six sequence make it a very nice pick six sequence there on Sunday night. Professor, good to see your face. Good to hear your voice. Hope you catch up on plenty of sleep. And we get to see you up there this weekend at Los Alamitos.
Absolutely. And once again, congratulations to the Contreras family.
Thank you. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. Have a good weekend. I expect to see you this weekend at Los Al, watching the races live there in Cypress, California.
See you, Jose.
Night Racing's best bets, the Los Alamitos Pick Fours, continue strong every weekend. Racing fans, the early and late Pick Fours had some of the biggest pools of the year on November 14th. The early Pick Four handled over $189,000, and the late Pick Four pool was over $195,000. Plus, we're still offering our $10,000 Pick Six promo on eligible Sundays. It means more money in your pocket when you win. Night racing's best bets are here, Saturday and Sunday nights. Play them at Los Alamitos Racecourse.